Kalen DeBoer's first year at Alabama did not go as planned. The Crimson Tide went just 9-4, their worst season since 2007, which also happened to be the first year under Nick Saban. So maybe DeBoer is going to follow a similar path, have a rough first year and then immediately take off in year two. Or maybe not. The Crimson Tide fans are giving him a little bit of grace, but it won't last long. He has to deliver in 2025. But will he? So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. Ready to talk some Alabama football as we get closer and closer to the start of the college football season. It will be here before you know it, which is all the more reason to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com. That's home to our expert picks and our newsletter and tons of exclusive content there for you. Hit that notification bell here on YouTube so you don't miss out on any of our future content we've got coming your way, including our official Alabama football prediction, which will be here in just a few months. We'll be predicting every single team across college football game by game. You will not want to miss it, especially with everything going on with the Alabama program right now. So, again, 9-4 is not a bad year for many teams, but it is a bad year for Alabama, a team that is so used to winning SEC titles and making the college football playoff and competing for national championships. They did not do that in year one. The crazy thing is, it was such a roller coaster season for the Crimson Tide, right? They were one win away, really, from making the college football playoff. They were so close, despite having 3 losses. They were very close to getting in. It was a debate. Does Alabama get in over SMU or someone like that? And ultimately, they put in the Mustangs. This team was the number 1 team in the country at one point, right? They start off strong. They beat Georgia in that absolute thriller, get to number 1, and then lose to Vanderbilt. Of all teams, they lose to Vanderbilt in Nashville. Very shocking. And then a couple weeks later, they lose to Tennessee. And then they got hot, destroyed LSU, rose all the way up to number 7 in the country, and then laid a massive egg at the end of the year. 24-3 loss at Oklahoma, ultimately ending their college football playoff hopes. If they had defeated Oklahoma, if they had defeated Vanderbilt, they defeated Tennessee, winning just one of those games, Alabama's in the playoff. Maybe people aren't freaking out as much right now. But you do that, then they lose their bowl game in upset fashion to Michigan. It just was not the most exciting, successful year for Kalen DeBoer. Now the pressure is on. Pressure's on. This is a team and a program that expects to make the college football playoff, especially now that it has expanded to 12 teams. This is a team that, unfortunately for him, though, does face a lot of questions, especially at the quarterback position. So you look at Alabama, there's talent there. He's recruited well. They've hit the transfer portal well, and this is Alabama. Of course, they've got a lot of talent. But who's going to be their quarterback? The most important position on the field, and Bama's got questions. Jalen Milroe is gone. Stuck around last year. Did okay, but he's gone. Now it's a 3-man battle between Ty Simpson, Austin Mack, and Keelan Russell. We expect that the job is going to most likely go to Ty Simpson. He's certainly the most experienced quarterback of the 3, has been at Alabama the longest of the 3. So we assume it's going to go to Ty Simpson. We assume he's going to be the guy. But is he going to be good enough? Is he going to be good enough? And how's the offense change under new offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb? So you've got a new quarterback, a new coordinator, a lot of questions on that side of the ball. But the good thing is whoever's at quarterback, and we assume it's Simpson, but it could be Matt, could be Russell, they're going to have weapons, right? That's the good thing that Alabama's got going for them. They've got the freshman phenom and Ryan Williams, no longer a freshman, I should say, but you heard it a million times, 17 years old. He's 17 years old. I think every broadcast, they made sure to let you know that. And it was remarkable what he was doing at 17 years old as a freshman, 865 reception yards, 8 touchdowns, a ton of insane acrobatic catches. I mean, he's an unbelievable talent. He returns to Tuscaloosa. Jeremy Bernard also returns to Tuscaloosa. And they add Miami transfer Isaiah Horton, who had over 600 yards with the Hurricanes last year. Jam Miller, of course, returns at running back. So at the running back position, you're set. The wide receiver position, you are set. But you got to find yourself a quarterback. Got to find yourself a quarterback. That's going to be the interesting storyline to watch as we get closer and closer to the start of the season at the end of August. The defense, on the other hand, looks pretty solid. A lot of experience returning. Again, Alabama did well through the transfer portal. They did well recruiting, but the defense has a lot of experience returning. Guys like Deontay Lawson, Justin Jefferson, LT Overton, Keon Sabb, that's just a few players. But those 4 players alone accounted for nearly 25% of Alabama's total tackles in 2024. And again, I could have listed more, and that percentage would have gone up. So they've got a lot of experience returning from last year's team, in addition to some other guys they've added. So I really actually do like Alabama's defense quite a bit. It wasn't the best last year. It was not Nick Saban caliber maybe by any means. Maybe it wasn't as bad as people thought it would be. Yes, they had some mishaps, 24 points to Oklahoma, couldn't get the offense going, 40 points to Vanderbilt. They had some issues, without a doubt. But I do think this defense can be better than people realize. It's the offense that you maybe have to worry about. When you look at the schedule for Alabama, this is where it all comes down to, right? I expect Kalen DeBoer to have this team in good shape. I expect him to have this team competing at a very high level. This is Alabama. This is a very good coach that succeeded everywhere he's been, paired with an offensive coordinator that he's worked a lot with. I don't think Alabama's completely falling off or is going to struggle, but the schedule is difficult. We, again, saw the Crimson Tide had an argument to get into the playoff with 3 losses last year. They ultimately got left out. Really, I think you're almost a lock to get in with 2. 3 is where you're pushing it. And you look at the schedule. They open up the year at Florida State. So that's not an easy game. You cannot base this off of what happened in 2024. Florida State was horrible. They were terrible. So if you're looking at this game, you go, easy win for Alabama. Don't say that yet. This is actually a true road game, not a neutral site game. Florida State completely reloaded through the transfer portal. They've reloaded on the coaching staff and the players. This is a completely different Florida State team. They're going to be much better than what we saw in 2024. So not an easy game there, especially for a young, inexperienced quarterback, whoever starts for Alabama, having to go into that environment to start the year. So that's an interesting, tricky game there, even though the Crimson Tide right now are favored by double digits. Then the rest of the road slate, at Georgia, at Missouri, at South Carolina, who nearly beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa last year, and Carolina should be even better this year than they were last year, and then at Auburn. They do get to host Wisconsin, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, LSU, and Oklahoma. 3 of the teams they lost to last year went 9-4. 3 of the teams they lost to last year, all in conference play, come to Tuscaloosa. Talk about revenge games. Vanderbilt comes to Tuscaloosa. Tennessee and Oklahoma. Alabama lost to all 3 of them, and they have to come to Tuscaloosa. That is massive. That is massive for Alabama. So here's what I'm looking at here. The home slate is pretty favorable. Out of those games that we mentioned, I would argue that LSU will probably be the toughest. Oklahoma is going to improve. Tennessee is no slouch. Vanderbilt is no slouch now. A lot of returning talent there. They should, I would think, breeze past Wisconsin. So if Alabama can defend Bryant-Denny Stadium, if they can defend their home field and win the majority, if not all of their home games, I'm looking at those road games, Florida State, Georgia, Missouri, South Carolina, and Auburn, 5 there. I think they can beat Missouri and Auburn. I think those are very winnable games. So if you're Alabama, you have to take care of business at home, and then out of those 5 road games I mentioned, if you go 3-2, you're good. You will be in the playoff. You will. And I could argue they could beat Florida State. Alabama is favored. I think they are more experienced. They're in a better shape than Florida State right now. So again, they might not beat Georgia. They might struggle against South Carolina. Auburn typically gives them issues at Jordan-Hare Stadium, and the Tigers should improve a little bit. So those are tough environments, but winnable games. Florida State, Missouri, and Auburn, I think, are the most winnable games there. If you win those 3 and you win your home games, you're going to the playoff even if you do lose to Georgia and South Carolina. And again, we're just spitballing here. We're not predicting that right now. What I'm saying is Bama's not going to go undefeated. They're probably not going to be a 1-loss team. But you can still get into the playoff, and you might even still get into the SEC championship with 2 losses. It is possible. But here's the thing. It's got to be done. If Alabama struggles again, has another 3-loss regular season, missed out in the playoff, I'm not saying they're going to fire Kalen DeBoer. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying year 3 would be the make or break year. The patience is going to wear thin. Alabama's been used to so much success for so long under Nick Saban. If they go back-to-back years with no playoff appearances and back-to-back Citrus Bowl appearances, something like that, that's not going to cut it. That's not going to be acceptable, especially with the playoff expanding to 12 teams. There's more of a reason you should be in than if there was 4 teams there. Maybe a little more grace if you missed the 14 playoffs, not the 12-team playoff. That shouldn't be happening. So it's going to be a very interesting year. This has to happen for Kalen DeBoer. He has to have a bounce-back season. Everything is there right now for the Crimson Tide, it seems like, except for the quarterback. That will work itself out. But can he get the job done? Can he navigate this schedule? The pressure is on, but will he deliver? We'll just have to wait and see. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at The Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below. That's our website at gridironexpert.com, home to our expert picks, home to our weekly newsletters, and tons of exclusive content to help you get through this offseason. We want you to take advantage of it. Become a member of our GE Nation because we're talking college football with you year-round right here at our channel. Make sure to check it out. Make sure to hit that notification button. Make sure to join our team today. And once again, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.